Minnesota, 20 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. Randy, the radio hog, here today. We welcome you into On Sara's Partyline. Partyline brought to you by Wimmer Opticians and Chiropractic Connection. Today, we are talking Stearns County Soil Water Conservation here on KASM. We welcome back John Maile. John Boy, how are we doing?
Good. How are you doing, Kirby?
Detail, you're going to want to go up to Albany Auto. Or do you have a scratch to buff out?
You have a slippery approach coming in here.
We do.
Yeah. Good thing you had a snowbank. I came with my personal truck this morning, and I'm like, this is not going to stop.
Logan Berg had no issues.
Oh, I've been here before, though. In the winter. I even thought when I pulled the truck in, I'm like, I'm going to park off to the side just in case John can't stop. I'm like, I don't want to fill paperwork today.
Yeah. The old melt, freeze, always kind of an interesting move over there.
Interesting twist of weather again.
Yep.
We go from what felt like the heart of winter to March again.
60 degree difference between Saturday and Tuesday from 25 below to 40 degrees. So just, get to see them all.
But I did welcome the thaw. I kind of didn't mind taking a little bit of that snow off and letting some of the grasses and things kind of stand back up. So.
Moisture still welcome, I would assume?
Yes. Yep. So it was good.
I don't know about that because the whole farmyard is an ice rink. You can literally put ice skates on right now if you really wanted to. Oh, yeah.
John's got his broom ball shoes out for to go over to the Berg
if
farm.
If you wanted to come over, you definitely can.
God, I could do that all over again, but I don't think my body would enjoy it.
Gosh, the hamstrings, how tight they'd get after moving around.
And if you fall in our farmyard, it's all angled because it all drains to the pasture, you know.
So like John's truck, you're not going to stop.
Yeah, you're just going to keep going.
Keep going. Logan, you're back.
I'm back. Yep. Or we're back, I should say.
Yeah.
Yep.
How was your little government shutdown vacation?
I think I worked harder at home on the farm than I did at work.
Careful.
Yeah, careful.
Writing letters to legislation to get back in business.
Basically, yeah. We were deep right in the harvest right there, so I was up every day just helping Randy, my father-in-law. We got corn done and got
which
beans
you said
done.
You normally don't get to. So
I
that was kind of
get to do that. Nope. Normally I'm always at work. But yeah, I think Kelly was counting my steps because I'm on Kelly's insurance actually, and we got to track your steps. You know, I was at 20,000 steps a day, basically jumping in and out of tractors and hauling great elevator, gravity boxes and everything back and forth to the elevator. And it was a good time. And then Randy decided he wanted to build a shed too. So it's like, all right, well, I was ground crew. And he's like, you want to go up on the roof? I'm like, nope. I will do anything for you, but I ain't going up on no roof, and I don't climb no silo either.
Sure. What about climbing the silo with the slabs on the way up?
Nope.
No, not happening either?
Nope.
No. Okay. Nope. So back in business, what was it basically just trying to drink out of a fire hose from there? Just catching up?
It wasn't actually bad the first day, but it was the progressing week after where it's like, okay, we need to do an assessment of what are we waiting on? What are people waiting on me for? Because especially with the current soil health programs that the district has, I review a lot of that work because they have to meet NRCS standards and specs. So my desk went from very, very clean how I left it, and then it was just piles and stacks and stacks of folders, and we're still trying to get caught up now.
So just needs analysis or build a batting order of who.
It's
first come, first serve?
First come, first serve still.
Gotcha.
I've started out with, I think it was 1,600 emails, I think, while I was gone. And then I'm down to, I'm sub 100 right now.
Okay.
So I'm keeping track.
Progress,
yep.
And then, you have local producers getting a hold of you, and you owe it to them to be welcome and willing.
Keep those connections and keep talking with guys. But we're at a standstill right now with planning, and the federal government still is not to the point now where we can start EQIP planning because we don't have cost estimators, we don't have job sheets, we don't have nothing yet. We don't even have the questions that we normally have when we rank people. So it's.
You sure you're not shut down still?
It's kind of, no, I feel like we're moving, but it's slow. It's just very, very slow.
Right. So where do you go from here? Where do you just wait for Uncle Sam to give you the green light?
Basically, that's how we are. I think everything right now is just going to be put on hold till after Christmas because people have leave, and family is way more important than just sitting in the office. Putting a couple of documents together. So I think once the first of the year comes, we're going to be nose to the ground, and we're not going to stop.
Sure, becoming pretty quick.
Yep.
What are you getting some frustration from your growers, or are they hanging in there with you?
No, well, we basically say, hey, we started this year off with 300 employees. Now we're almost once the first of the year comes, we're going to have less than 200 for the state of Minnesota for NRCS.
Dropped a third of your NRCS employees.
Because, all the new people got let go, and then all these retirees. Now we had this furlough, so a lot of these people were getting close to retirement age, and I don't blame them. They're like, well, this is what retirement's going to be like. So they're like, no, here's my paperwork. You know, we're out. So I don't blame them for that. And so that's just kind of how we're sitting right now. And unfortunately, it's just Gary and I, and we did get Brian in the office too, my new supervisor, which has been absolutely awesome. And he's like, what do you need? And I say what I need, and he gets it done. So
sure.
That's really been a blessing.
So are you wrapped on 2025? Everything's kind of put to bed?
No, we're working on payments right now for people.
Still getting out there, okay.
Just because there's people, farming doesn't stop because the government's not there. So they had to get stuff done. So they're submitting documentation to me, and they want to get paid for it in 25. We got to get it done today.
Sure.
So there is no tomorrow.
John, did you guys see a repercussion with those guys getting back up in business?
The biggest thing was just nice to have them back in the office. I mean, start, sharing that knowledge, like talking about all these contracts, cover crops, all this stuff that was kind of just piling up. They came back to the office, and I right away started processing and signing payments, and it was just nice to get everybody having answers.
Yeah.
That was the toughest part is one is I'm kind of a new guy yet, but the staff are really good, but we still are like, well, when they get back, when are they getting back? Well, you know as much as I do. So that was just great to get everybody back. FSA was, they brought in a couple mandatory, needed employees,
okay.
But now they're back up and running. There's programs starting to get caught up. And every day I walk by that window and there's producers at the counter. So
which is good to see.
That's good to see again.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you got to be the same way. Yeah. Getting that email, that blue icon on your phone from 16 down to 1 was great, but getting that connection back and having those conversations with local producers, that's what you're there for.
Right, absolutely. And like we're sitting there, like we're looking at 26. 26 is not far away, and we gotta get these plans done. But it's we owe it to our producers that we spent all year up to that point meeting with them, and it's like, okay, come on, we need numbers, we need everything, we need our program material like we would normally have 3 months ago.
Right.
But we were hoping to already be done before Christmas. That was my new supervisor Brian's goal, was everyone get everything submitted before Christmas.
This was pre-shutdown?
Pre-shutdown,
yeah.
So that everybody, once Christmas comes, spend time with your family, because that's what's most important.
And probably pretty close to on track before the shutdown.
Oh yeah, we were right there. We were just waiting on the same things we're waiting on now. But once the government stops, everything stops.
Right. So couple minutes before we got to take our break. I know that you have a lot of stuff coming around the corner we can get to in the second half of the hour, but with everything back up and running, basically with your supervisor Brian, is it like extra work, or you can only work as much as only help one producer at a time type of deal? You kind of only one man type of thing.
Well, a lot of problems we're having right now is like, hey, we have a question on this contract. What's the new legalities with the new program? Or not with the current program, then you wait. It's like, okay, well, I can't wait because I have a line of people. So then I'll get an answer in the next 2-3 hours. It's like, well, you have 6 or 7 irons in the fire at once, and you just kind of try to get them all done at once. But it just doesn't work. It's just one. It's easier if we can have everyone's working, but now that Christmas is here, now people are taking their leave, and it's like, well,
sure,
we're trying to do the best we can.
I do want to just say hats off to Brian. It's been really nice to have Brian Steffens in that office now. Just came in, started cleaning up all the folders. It took a lot of, I think, some of the things that not necessarily fell on Logan's plate, because now he can pick up those administration things, office details, all these goofy things that pop up. And Brian, also hats off to him, is he's been stretched between Cambridge and here, and now he is just being solely sitting in Stearns County soon. So he's been doing a lot of work, but you can definitely see that ability now that we have a couple staff back in the office, and he's able to free up some of Logan's time, not having to worry about office administration stuff and things.
So he works for a county out east as well? He's between counties?
He was sharing some
was
sharing some responsibilities as they were trying to backfill all these positions. So, and now I think I just heard yesterday he's
they're moving some people around from the state office, but just like, hey, we have all this workload. People in the state office, hey, if you had any sort of background in planning,
get to Stearns County.
Get to the other counties, because Brian was in Cambridge, but Brian actually started here in Stearns County. Like his first job with NRCS was in Stearns County.
Interesting.
So he's a local boy. So he knows everybody, and he knows the plans. He knows how the office works, which is awesome.
And a good asset, it sounds like John makes this. So way to go.
Sure. Yeah.
Helping you.
Yeah, helping me a lot. Yep.
We're going to take a break. We have much more to come with John Maile. Partyline brought to you by Wimmer Opticians and Chiropractic Connection. Logan Berg, John Maile joining me in studio. John, before I forget, Tree sale still up and running?
It is up and running. Things are a little uptick here. So we have run out of a few species. The new species, I forget what, there's some cherry and
Pin cherry, yep.
Yep, those sold out now. So definitely don't be a delayer and think about it towards the end of the season because things are starting to sell.
Right.
It's
Well,
still
you're already
going.
out of a couple of couple things. So
Yep. The new pin cherry and things like that we're out of. So
how did they come up with these new? Did you guys just the staff just kind of pick some new fun stuff, or?
Yeah, and I think we eventually get them from the nursery at the DNR, and
Okay.
they look at what their inventory is and some new species there, and we're just trying to bring different species to the county because we have a lot of trees to replace out there with the emerald ash borer and just people. We've learned diversity is better than one species.
Have you driven through St. Martin lately?
I drive through it all the time, Kirby,
Those
going
tr-
hunting.
they're-
Right?
Those
Yeah.
bank that
The bank trees are gone.
gone.
Yeah.
And I saw them when they were chopping them down when they were playing Paul Bundy, and I was like, well, John Maile told me that was coming because you had mentioned it this fall.
Just think about that in every community now in central Minnesota and eventually Minnesota. Those ash trees are
Going to be gone.
gone.
Yeah. And so they'll need to be replaced.
They gotta be
and why not
replaced.
do it through the
Yeah, come and grab some trees and diversify. Pick up some basswood, a couple oaks. Maybe you want a spruce tree here or there, a pine. Yep, because the next bug is coming some way.
Do you make it a point that they diversify? Like, don't get 10,000 of the same thing?
Absolutely. Jason and Nolan in the office, those are kind of our habitat guys, Greg Berg. We're all very, very cognizant of trying to diversify the species. The old days of building a shelter belt along the farm.
With the same tree or the same
same
species?
tree because it looks pretty.
Yep.
Let's mix it up a little bit. Now we've learned. Yep.
Hint, hint, if you have an equip contract and you need trees, order them now.
Just saying.
Yeah, there is a pretty good program out there if I remember right.
Yep,
So.
and everyone got a letter because my name is on it. So make sure you order your trees.
Yeah. Is there a deadline, or is it just kind of sell till they're gone?
Sell to their god.
Gotcha. So don't wait.
Yeah, but don't wait. But yeah, I'd say by end of February, March, things are pretty thin.
Sure.
So
Your options would be quite limited by
yeah,
by
you
that time.
might be the one person planting on one species.
Because it's all that's left.
Okay, I'll be that guy.
Yeah. And it's as simple as just getting a hold of you guys and talking with Nolan and those guys.
You call the office and Candace is there. She'd answer the phone, and she's great. She really handles that program well and knows it inside out. And you can pay online. You can go online and see what's available. Enter your credit card. Things are secure that way.
Right.
Or you give her a call and come on in and come up to the front desk, and we'd gladly help you and help get you the right mix.
Yeah, well, and you had talked about this previously, John, and we don't have to make this the tree hour, but
Yep.
if someone came in like, well, I don't know, what should I do? That's where it's nice to have the guys in the office there saying,
Absolutely.
well, here's what I would look at potentially. So
Yeah, are you on real sandy soils? No, we're next to a wetland or whatever it might be. Do you want to have wind protection for your farm? Or do you want to add a little wildlife value and make sure you have some berries in there? We got it covered.
Sure.
Yep, just ask.
What do you got on the sheet of paper you wanted to pass along today?
Well, we are in winter months, means workshops, conferences. I just wrapped up my first attendance at the state convention for SWCDs.
Right, yeah.
That was an eye-opening experience myself. I went down there with a few board members, and we were let me back up. In my interview 6 months ago, and maybe Logan remember hearing this, I said, I want to be an award-winning organization. Well, I got that done the first 6 months.
Hey.
We were chosen to be the Minnesota DNR Ecological Water Resources SWCD Office of the Year. So,
Way to go, John.
Yeah.
You set goals and you achieved them.
Yeah, I just sat down and from helping announce Steve Welly as a Habitat Conservationist of the Year with PF, and he was not able to attend. Hats off to Steve if you're out there listening. But we just got done doing that, and I sat down, and all of a sudden the DNR went up there, and I know them a little bit, but anyways.
Seen those guys before?
Just a
Yeah, I've seen them. And all of a sudden, Stearns County, I'm like, oh,
We did it.
we did what? So that was, and that's, hats off to the team, hats off to the partnership we have. And the big thing is just, to the communities across the county, I just want to say thank you guys for, trusting us and coming out and working with us and letting us do good projects on private property. And that got recognized this year for all of our good work. So that was really exciting. And the conference in general, the wealth of knowledge from.
You had an education down there?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of networking after hours. I learned where Mr. Fuchs got to do a lot of gripping and grinning and maybe a couple of beers.
I was going to say, you figured out how that can keeps ending up in that hand, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, it was a great time. But yes, touching on that, it's workshop season. And one of the big things were Women in Ag has a conference coming up in Waite Park. And we are going to sponsor a few people to attend that. I've reached out to a few area producers and hoping those times work with them to maybe accompany us there. And
sure,
it's a fully, from what I've been told, it's all women. No men there.
Right.
The vendors are all women. Everything is 100% women to keep that security feeling that they are just sharing their visions and what they see and
right.
how their support networks and things like that. So that's going to be, what is that date again, Logan? I've got to remember it here. It is
February 3rd.
February 3rd, yeah.
Park Event Center?
Park Event Center, yeah.
Seems where you guys
one day.
like to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah, one day. Greg Berg is setting up his annual Lakeshore workshop for contractors that need to come in. And to do work on lakeshores, you need to kind of go through this training in Stearns County. And Greg has been doing this, I don't know, a long time.
A long time, yep.
I'm going to guess 15 plus years.
Just going through the permitting.
Permitting, I see the agenda here. They got aquatic plant permits, enforcement, shoreline permit review, managing soils, working around trees, tree care. You go into sites along the lake and you have that one tree and you're going to be a contractor and you really want to make sure you keep the lakeshore owner happy because they don't lose their big oak tree or willow or whatever. So, financial assistance, sensitive areas. Some of these places we're actually pretty rich in cultural resources. There's a lot of old history from Native Americans, even whatever, in the area. So we got how do we work around that when we do have that? So they cover all those things, and that is also in February 5th, and that's at the Grecky Center in St. Ben's. So
when a bearded guy sat where you're sitting, really silvery, he would always talk about there's a bunch of contractors who won't touch lakeshore jobs. They just don't, I don't know. And so they're boxing themselves out of the market. Where if you go to a conference like this, you could, re-up your value, basically.
Absolutely. And, if it's not just what you know here in Stearns County, but Minnesota's full of lakes, I think.
Plenty of them out there.
Yeah, so these contractors are going across county lines. I think that would just be a feather in their hat to say, hey, I know all about what you got to do. I know what T's to cross and I's to dots.
Right.
So.
Is that do you have to sign up for that? Or?
Yeah, you could jump on. If you go to the website, right there, if you pull it up, and there is a registration, pull up your phone, click on the link, and you can register right there.
Gotcha.
Yep. I'm trying to think of a few other things here. There's online courses. I see there's a pollinator talks, soil management, lots of soil management conference in January up in Fargo. So I already mentioned the egg conference for women. Another thing that's not necessarily a conference, but things that you should go visit right now and we just did a little snippet online. Ben really talked about keep it clean on the ice. He did one.
Sure.
Yes, keep it clean in the ice.
Right.
Minnesota DNR.
It's been a major issue.
Yeah, you go out to lakes and you set up your ice castle, your Yeti, or even your pop-up. Now, I drove by Horseshoe Lake the other day. I think I counted 20 ice shacks out there. But if you take it on the ice, take it off the ice.
Right.
A lot of times those boards get frozen in and we have a lot of slush in the lakes. Take it off.
Right.
Yep.
Trash. You can, if you brought it with you, it can go back home with you.
Yep. If you have a dog that's running around on the ice and they have the need to relieve themselves, go scoop it up and take it off. Don't leave it on the ice. So things like that. So we also are trying to share that kind of information too.
And we've all been on the ice and walked past that spot where it's like, well, who's this swear word who left all this junk right here, all his trash? So because where's that going to end up in April, John?
Yeah, it's
right in the water.
Right in the water.
Yep.
The tub of wax worms got caught in the wind and goes rolling around. Well, go pick up the plastic.
Case of beer that got frozen in there.
Yeah,
you could chisel it out.
Keep it clean.
Bring it home with you.
Keep that ice clean. So, those are just a few things I want to touch on.
Some courtesy as ice fishing begins.
Yeah.
I suppose you have a pretty beefy list over there, young man.
Well, John knocked off a couple things, but the biggest thing that NRCS has now is the Regenerative Ag program that just got announced last Thursday or Friday, I believe it was. Basically, the this current administration came out with this program, and they announced it, and yet we here in the field office, we have not heard much about anything. We know that training's coming, but yeah, if you guys are interested in what this administration's saying and what's coming down from headquarters, let us know, and then we'll put you on the list, and then we'll just see what happens of what comes of it. We don't know if it's a whole separate program. We don't know if it's just a separate fund pool, or if it's just a little grant. We don't know.
Flying blind a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So, and then the only other thing that we got on the docket is the Marble Seed Organic Conference. That's in La Crosse, Wisconsin, February 26th through the 28th. If you're interested in registering for that, you can just go to conference.marbleseed.org.
Okay. What are we learning there?
That is everything organics.
Gotcha.
So if anybody, whether it's pasture or milk production, crop farming, vegetables, flowers,
That's your
everything
spot.
organic, that's what you want to go to. There's a lot of vendors there. Everyone comes from across the nation to go to this one Marble Seed Conference.
Cool.
It is a huge production.
You going?
I am not going.
Not going.
Nope.
Have you been?
I have not been either.
Okay.
It's over my 30th birthday this year.
Oh, wow.
My birthday is February 27th. So
Well, how much fun would that be out in Sioux Falls?
no, I'm good. I'll stay home. I'll stay home with the cows and the dog and the wife.
There we go.
Yep.
Logan, with being back up in operation and stuff like that, there's no off season for you guys. It seems like you're almost busier in the winter than you are in the summer.
Well, that's when our workload is. It's in the
Yep.
wintertime where we put plans together. Like I said, we're waiting on information from headquarters. As soon as we get it, it's going to be nose to the grindstone, and we're going to be putting our producers first and make sure that they get on the docket for this year that we've been working with for the last 16 months.
Yeah. And I mean, John, first trip through the winter, and you had joked in November when you were here about producers. You had the impression that, harvest is done. I'll see you in the spring. No, they're hitting the ground. They're hitting the computer. They're trying to figure out crop rotations and stuff.
Exactly. They're planning. I see a lot of cover crop plans coming through right now. They're all putting their schedules together. They're, like I said, their rotations, and I go back to riding the tractor with Dustin, and I said again, what do you do in the wintertime? I'm running models. Mm-hmm. 2, 3, 4 models on all my acres, and just really want to do the right thing. So it's impressive. It's a whole different era.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably always have been thinking about that, but now with the ability of GIS, soil maps, drone footage, all this, our staff, they put it all together, and it's a whole new science.
Right.
It's been a huge shift in agriculture the last few years with all these tools that they can. I mean, they know every square foot of their acres.
And you guys are there to help. If they have any questions or any ideas, you guys want to jump on board. Yeah,
Grant Pearson is our Minnesota Ag Water Quality Certificate leader in the office and works across the counties. And I sit there, and actually yesterday we had a little holiday party, and I'm sitting next to Grant. And he was talking about how challenging and how sophisticated these crop rotations are. Edibles, wheat, corn, soybeans. There were crops that I haven't even heard of, and how depending on where you are in these surrounding counties. And again, a message to Kirby is we don't just work in Stearns County. We have staff that work across, and how challenging it is. And they want to do the right thing, and they're working through this Ag Water Quality Certificate, and they're making sure that they get the right formula, to meet those expectations and criteria. But there is some really challenging crop rotations out there. He was saying,
sure,
people are trying to diversify and weather the storms of agriculture.
And I mean, with topsoil where it's at right now, Logan, diversifying and moving crop rotations around, it's almost paramount, right? Because you could wind up really hurting yourself in the future.
Well, right. Look at corn and soybeans right now. If you're just doing corn and soybeans, that's gonna be a hard pill to swallow the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Diversifying is not only great for your soil, it's great for the wallet, and it's great for everyone else that's around you. And if you can make it work, and if you can find something that not only gives back to your soil, but you also get to take a little bit from it too, that's what we want to hear.
Right. And the opportunity for you guys to help out at that, music to your ears.
Yep. Music to our ears. Come in the front door, give us a call, or you can call me directly, either way. But that's what we're here to do. That's why I love my job so much, especially when we had one producer this last summer he was a brand new farmer. Well, his dad owned the farm. He bought the farm, and he had a real big issue. And I won't get into the details of it, but at the end of the year, it's like we not only solved this problem, but he's actually making money, and that's what we want to hear. So,
and it's stories like that too, where they're running their head into the wall, saying, "Well, I just don't know what's going on here." Where you guys can help out. It's a resource to lean on to try to move some stuff around, and then potentially put some money in the wallet. That again,
Well, right.
that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal, and we talk about this a lot too. Is that the Christmas time, holiday time it's a tough time for producers right now because, as John was saying, they're planning right now, and it's like, well, if you have a problem, reach out. You don't have to tackle any of this by yourself.
Right.
Come in the office. We do that a lot. We just help listen to producers' issues and be like, hey, have you ever thought about this? And it could be the smallest thing, and all of a sudden it's a light bulb in their head. Be like, no,
Yeah.
I'd never thought about that. Let's talk about this more. What resources do we have? And we have resources across the country that we can give producers.
Sure. Would you say that there's producers out there that you haven't spoke with in a few years that maybe it'd be a good time to reconnect?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's like I said, well, like Kirby, you see all the time, when was the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Bingo.
and technology has advanced so much right now. Like once you buy a computer today, it's already past tomorrow, whether that's, technology in your tractor, technology to help with your soils, spreading nutrient management across your field, spreading manure. We have stuff that's so accurate right now that we did not have this 5 years ago. We didn't have this 3 years ago.
Right.
So why don't you just come in the office and be like, hey, I want to learn more about this, or I heard a little bit about this, but given we're at that transition period where my generation is starting to take over those farms, so these kids are asking questions.
Sure.
There might be a little bit of struggle between dad or brother or whatever, what have you, but it's
Mom.
like, yeah,
Mom in there.
mom runs the show.
Her opinions probably carries the most water sometimes.
So, but just because it worked for you for the last 20 years does not mean that the next 20 years it's going to work for you.
Right. And it's almost, John, when you hear stuff like that, to think, where are we going to go in the next 5 years? It's kind of remarkable to even glance ahead a little.
Yeah, one of the things, I'll be the first to admit, I'm a biologist by trade. As you guys know, a lot of my background, and one of the things I'm really trying to do, and today I'm going to be leaving, and I'm going to be meeting with a producer from the Pearl Lake area that does edibles, corn, soybeans, alfalfa, everything else, and I've been just trying to get on my schedule, picking a producer, meeting them for lunch, and learning about, there are people, I'd say under 50 of age, and trying to learn their struggles, what's their story, how their operation works. 2 weeks ago, I met with a fairly significant dairy producers that are in a transition of turning it over to the next generation from Stearns County and learning what they're struggling with and how do we engage. And we have some, board members are very supportive of our board. And one of the things we really want to do is we want to create a group of producers that can help push our messages, but it's going to come from them. It's going to come producers to producers, and then we can be behind the scenes and trying to help direct those things. They don't always need to come to us, but talk to a producer that's worked with us, and we're going to try to build that network in the county and maybe beyond.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been kind of reaching out to some of the producers and say, hey, how can I help you help others?
Yeah.
And so we've been starting that, and the biggest thing is how do you maintain profitability?
Yeah.
So
well, and it's funny too, because if it comes from you and they still see the .gov on your email or something like that, and they're just kind of fold their arms right away and say, I don't know about that Maile. But if it comes from the neighbor or the cousin or the guy, 3 farms over, it's like, really? That worked? Interesting.
And that messaging has always worked, and we know it.
Yeah.
But we just try to, what can we put a spin on it to make it bring to the next level?
Break down that wall.
Yeah, that's right.
That .gov wall.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
You'll be able to get there. Mm-hmm. And then as you had talked about, Logan, when you talk about an opportunity where a family farm is switching hands, going from dad who has got 60 harvests under his belt, and this is the way we always did it type of thing, and Junior's sitting there like, well, there's other opportunities here, Dad. We should look into this stuff. And we had talked about earlier, that music to your guys' ears.
Yep. No, ask the questions.
Yeah.
Ask why. Ask why you do it that way. What is the benefit? How much work are you putting into it?
Yeah.
Just because you like putting a lot of time on your machines doesn't mean that you have to. You
can spend time with Mom,
Yeah, you can go inside or go home, play with your kids, play with the dog, do something if you can. My goal is always, if I can help one person a day, this with one simple problem or one really complex problem, that's always my goal. And
it's a good day.
Yep, and that's a really good day. Given I don't always accomplish that every day, but if I can get one, that's always awesome.
Oh, you help somebody in the office every day.
Somebody had a printer issue or something.
Yeah,
like
let's do the good old leaf factory reset. Unplug it from the wall.
Yeah. Turn it off, turn it back on.
Yep.
You grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what's going on.
Blow on it a little bit.
How do they get a hold of you if they're looking to have a conversation?
Well, come to Marketplace, right in Wade Park. Come on in, right behind the same building as Pizza Ranch, or across from Cashwise. If you're coming in to do a little Christmas shopping, doors are open. I'd say 8 to 4:30 most days. Otherwise, look us up online or the old 320-251-7800 extension 3.
With holiday hours probably off middle of and end of next week?
We just have Christmas Day off, but
Okay.
I will tell you the office will be scarce. As a supervisor, I really push for family values to time. So, and Logan has already said a lot of people are trying to burn some annual leave. I will be off the 24th and 26th myself. If I was not at Cold Spring, Mass on the 24th, I don't think I would
It'd
have
be bad news?
I would be sleeping with the dogs.
He's got to see the Christmas pageant.
Yeah. So, it is going to be a little bit there. And how things are following this year with the holidays being on a Thursday, I wouldn't recommend.
Friday's not going to be.
Friday's not a good day. But, right after that new year.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Yep.
Yes.
Be ready for him.
Give us a call.
Are you arrive an hour before Mass to get a good seat? Or are you in the back? Or what's your go-to move there at St. Boniface?
Tradition is hard to break, Kirby.
Sure.
So we come walking in about half hour before
Sure.
and take a right at the entrance there.
Yep.
Right by the water, and that's where we have been for as long as I can remember.
That's your spot.
That's 49 years of memory right there for me, and that's where we sit.
And that's where they'll be.
Yep.
There we go. Well, Merry Christmas to the Mileys and the Bergs, of course.
Merry Christmas.
We appreciate you guys coming in. We'll talk to you in 2026, okay?
Yeah, you too, Kirby. Have a good day.
See you, Kirby.
That's Logan Berg.